All right, so hello. Today I'm with Dan Canham.
Yeah, that's it.
Canham.
Yeah.
And we could say we're in the Fens and we're going to dance together.
Yeah.
It's been a long time. I really appreciated dancing with you all those years ago in 2008 or 2009, somewhere around there with Fabulous Beast. You were always such a kind and caring soul, so it was such a joy. So when I have this opportunity to reconnect, of course it made sense to sort of reach out. And I know now you're doing many things. I mean, in the intermittent phase, you've done a lot of things. But if you could say, maybe for people who don't know who you are, and maybe for me, because I don't fully know who you are yet.
Yes.
But just a brief sort of.
Yes, because it's been 17 years since we danced together, which feels like another life to me.
Yeah.
I stopped performing 2016, and it got to the point where I was performing in my own work because I was fed up of performing for other people. But that also becomes kind of exhausting, and I was always probably more interested in choreographing and directing. I just didn't know how, so I had to learn what to do and what not to do from other people. But now, yes, at this point, this new revolution of activity for me involves choreographing and directing a lot of like large-scale theatre and dance shows that might involve like 150, 200 people, most of whom will be members of the community. And so I've been doing a lot of work with the National Theatre Public Acts. We just made a show in Sunderland called Public Record, which was like an original devised piece of dance music theatre with a cast of 100, featuring loads of like music legends from Sunderland. And that was great. And I would say the thing I love most and the thing that I get the biggest kick out of is just taking those people on a journey. I would say I feel like I'm a bit of a specialist in relatively quickly allowing people to access dance who might not feel like it was ever for them, for whatever reason. And suddenly collectively they're feeling this collective power, and we're grooving and we're dancing freely. However, any steps are just used as a little springboard. And suddenly people have got smiles on their faces and they're saying to me, damn, I didn't realise dance was for me. And they'd be really good dancers. And I love that. I get such a high off it. So that's a lot of the work that I do. And then on top of that, I do a lot of camera work. And sometimes they overlap.
Filming dance. But I mean, what it speaks to for me is a little bit like dance is just always so close and so present. And it really, I mean, and I experience it myself, like it's not 20 years of professional training that brings you to dance. Like it's just a shift of perspective, which actually maybe is a nice link into like where we are. Maybe you could just say a little bit about where we are and what we're going to do.
Yes, so we just met in a Tesco car park after 17 years. And I've driven you out to the Fen Edge. I won't give a full account of the Fens, but what we're looking at now is like 360 degrees of flat land, and in any one direction we can probably see for at least 2 or 3 miles, and in some cases a lot further. And we're looking at sort of wheat fields that have been harvested, just stubbly wheat fields, which are quite a nice colour actually. We've got some lovely greens. It's been very dry here, you can see, so there's a lot of like beiges and yellows. It's overcast day, but there's a bit of blue around.
Yeah, you can really see the clouds rolling off into the horizon.
And we're on an old drove, like just an old farm track that has been concreted, a single track, again in the middle of nowhere. I don't imagine we'll see anyone if we sat here for a couple of hours. We might see a jogger or a farmer, or a cyclist. That might be it. Which is odd because we're quite close to Cambridge, quite close to a big city. And I just love how, so out here on the Fens I feel at home because I grew up around here on the edge of the Fens. And I feel a simultaneous sense of comfort with all of this space and of ownership because you're not going to be disturbed, and also slight paranoia because if someone had some binoculars or a scope, they could be miles away and see us.
True.
And in fact, there was one time where for some research for a project in the Fens at night, I drove out to one of these droves out near March, near Doddington, and I put my headlights on and I just started filming myself dancing. And it was, I don't know, maybe 9 o'clock at night, and there was no one around for miles. It's an amazing feeling and you feel so free. But then literally within half an hour, someone drove up to me and said, "What are you doing?" And I was like, I can't remember what I said. I think I said something that did enough to just put them off. I was like, "I'm just doing some research or something."
Yeah, yeah.
Usually you say you're a student or something,
Yes.
and they don't bother. But yeah, so, oh, there's a car. A car did pass. Oh, and there's another car. Look, after I said we have to watch out. But we've come here because it's a really straight drove, and I thought it would be nice as a kind of reunion of sorts for us to be at either ends of this road, maybe like a mile apart, and just slowly, with the wind blowing across us and all of this space, slowly meet in the middle.
Yeah.
Feels like something Marina and Ulay would do.
Oh, yeah.
They did it on the Great Wall of China. I think that's the inspiration. They did it on the Great Wall of China. We're doing it for over a mile on the Fen Road. But that is it, man. And we're going to dance it as a way of, and the recipe is we get closer and then we have some kind of point of connection.
Yeah. I mean, we're meeting across time and space. Yeah, this is wonderful. And I mean, I'm now living here, so it's also apt, right? So we're somehow meeting in this place where you're from and you're anchored, and that I'm finding myself anchoring and encountering. This sounds great. Yes. So we're gonna walk along this straight road, turn around, and move towards each other.
That's right.
In some way.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Sounds
Perfect.
simple.
Yeah.
All right, then we'll pause now and we'll be back in a bit.
Lovely.
All right, okay. So we're back in the car.
Yeah, at the midway point.
Yeah, at the rendezvous.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh wow, that was really impressive. I think we just we say what we found and what came up for us. I mean, firstly, you found a snake.
Yeah, found a snake skin.
Snake skin, yeah.
Yeah, or maybe two, I can't tell. Which, I had to be careful not to just get carried away with dancing for the snake skin and abandoning you. But yeah, like, it's about noticing, I guess.
Yeah.
And what you notice.
Yeah.
And I had the feeling like this could be a practice.
Yeah.
And the more we do it, the more we'd notice.
Yeah.
And the more we'd slow. I feel like if we did it 100 times, it would just get slower and slower and slower until we were just walking.
Yeah.
And it would get longer and longer. And so, yeah, when I started noticing things, then I saw like a snake skin or heard the buzzard calling or felt that wind in the grass or, details.
Yeah, I mean, even to the extent, so at the beginning we walked away from each other and we didn't really discuss how and when we would turn back. But I got to the bend in the road and then I felt like, okay, that makes sense. But there was definitely an urge of like, well, how much of a dance do I want? And like, how much do I want to include? Like, there was a very interesting quality of like wanting to, like you say, notice more and be with more, like throughout, like not just the walking away, but also coming back to towards each other. A really, beautiful sort of, quality of inclusion. Like definitely the buzzard. At some point I didn't realize there were crickets and then I heard the crickets. And the sort of the tractor across the way, and even just the details in the sky. And then for me also there was like the relationship between us, and that it differed so much. How much I could see you or not.
Yeah, because you're not sure, like, can you see what I'm doing? Is it having an effect on you? At what point? There was one point where I felt like we had a first proper connection, which, I don't know, maybe 50 meters apart, where you were low and then I got low, and it kind of slowed down. It felt quite animal. And it was like, oh, he can see me now. Those stages of intimacy, proximity, on a big scale, like there's no rehearsal room this big.
No, it's absolutely, and to have so much input as well, but on a very fine level as well. Like, it's not loud music or something. It's
which was weird for me, because I almost exclusively dance to music. And it'll almost exclusively be like mining for grooves and repetitive, like things I can like teach, and like that's almost exclusively what I do. So having the space to just drop in and out of freer stuff was freeing, and also just like, what do I do?
Exactly.
Have music in my head sometimes.
But for me there was such a number of rhythms, actually.
Sure.
And the rhythmicality was so explicit and strong, just because I know that somehow to get closer to you, so there's the rhythm of just having to walk, right? Walking is such a rhythmical activity, but then the wind through the grass, and the sort of stop and change and shift in direction, and you kind of getting closer to the rhythms of the space. At some point, like, I was vocalizing some of the breath and some of the sounds of the things, but also having an intimacy with that, and definitely like the animal came out for me as well. Like, I'm on the ground and I feel like a hare peering up off the grass.
Well, there is a hare. You've just said it. I've just spotted one. That's crazy. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Literally. You just said it, and we hadn't seen one. And I haven't seen one in the last 3 days out here. And there it is.
You summon and it will come.
That's crazy. Because also, obviously, we had hares in Rite of Spring. So
yes.
That's crazy. Yeah. It's right there. Yeah. That's great. What else do you want to summon? We've had the snake, the hare, the learner driver. Nice.
But it's about, there's something conjures for me about getting closer to those things and listening and giving an opportunity. I had to think of your work with communities and things, and this is such a simple and rich invitation for us today. And I was sort of curious, like, how do you how do you manage that sort of intimacy of dance and the expectations and like familiarity that maybe people who are new to it have or don't have, right?
When I'm working with communities, it tends to be like social dance is my way in, even if we're making up our own social dance. And I'm always mining for like simple steps which I can name that are shareable and teachable, that I can call out in the moment, so people don't have to worry about what comes next. Almost like a ceilidh, but without the music or those particular steps. But it really is analogous to that kind of social dance. I'll call out something. And what it does generally seems to is just free people up and free them up to be with each other. Yeah. And so much of the approach is being explicit about naming, this is for you, this is for your friends, as much as for an audience. Yeah. And not like a presentational, everyone face out front. I want them to be facing each other. I want them to be looking into each other's eyes. I want them to be enjoying the steps. And crucially as well, I always say there can be as many different versions of that choreography as there are people doing it. And I really mean that. As long as the spirit and the attack and the quality is there, you can do the same move in your left index finger, if that's all you have facility for that day, as you can with your full body. And I've seen it. It used to be just words that I said and figured, oh yeah, that theory is sound. But then I've really seen it. Seeing 160 people on the Olivier doing this like storm sequence where they're dancing, and I've seen people like wheelchair users who are putting it really in their shoulders, or like someone who's like 80 years old, do you know what I mean, finding their own way, or a 4-year-old just going for it. But as long as the collective approach and spirit is right, then they are meeting through dancing. And the step and the groove is a safety net for them, so that they don't have to worry about what it is they're doing. They can just meet through. And then as an audience member, you see that and you see the connections and you think, I want to be part of that.
If not just as a witness, right? Feeling it, feeling the music, feeling the rhythm.
So, and I think the thing about the freedom of expression, obviously as a choreographer, I have like many different like needs to serve, not least serving the story, or even if there's no narrative, serving the rhythm and the journey of a piece. But I think, and so I'm really hot on like detail of approach and of attack. But then I think because I worked for so many choreographers over the years when I was dancing who were so precise to the point of controlling, that it could strip you of that creativity if you didn't have exactly the right body or approach. And because I never trained. Because I did a drama degree, and my body doesn't suit certain approaches, then I just get a real kick out of opening up and cracking open approaches to dancing.
Because what's so striking with what we did now is also that I'm standing there alone, and I have to think about how the grass will continue moving, the crickets will continue sounding, the crack in the road will continue opening, and plants will continue growing through them. The snake will continue to shed its skin, and the farmer will be still doing the fields. Like this sort of like strangeness in dancing of like, I'm doing it alone, but am I? We were so far apart at the beginning that I could barely see you. I didn't know if it was you or not, or if it started exactly, and like, are we together or am I dancing by myself? And there's some sort of thread there where like the individual and the collective, they're not so far apart. Like each person in the on the stage in the community dance needs to somehow be alone in themselves and in who they are, and at the same time beside and with everyone else, right? There's something
totally. And I think for that reason I don't often use physical contact, and if I do, it tends to be quite gestural or like overtly theatrical. I won't often involve like or if it is social, maybe there's a social dance element to it, but I don't often use contact. And even before working a lot with members of the community, even with pros, I wouldn't often use that, because maybe because I enjoy my own space and being able to have agency over my own space whilst being in relation to I don't know, you can still do that when you're touching, but maybe it becomes harder. No,
there's more, or the agency, that like control of oneself is somehow limited either by just the social code of like, okay, now we're touching, so I should honor that. Like, I mean, funny enough, we did touch, and I felt it as like a question. Like we were getting closer and closer, and then of course the sort of what do you call it, the end result of like getting closer is just, let's clap hands, let's bump fists, or let's hug. But I felt that resistance, and it was interesting because it meant, okay, but it's not about somehow becoming one, or I don't know, that's bad word maybe, but
no, I know what you mean,
being together somehow, like caused me to ask questions of like, how can I continue this dance actually going past you,
that's
beyond
nice.
you and stuff.
I was, the choreographer in me was really present as well. I was like, no, we have to earn this moment. I was like, we can't just like bump, that can't be the first thing, just bump fists, do you know what I mean? So I was like, my choreographer hat was on, I was just like, what's the good choice here? And fighting back to back felt good, you know, because this whole thing about forwards and back on a straight line felt really
I mean, actually, that was challenged a lot by the environment. So, the road is linear.
Yeah.
However, it didn't necessarily pull me in that sort of forward back direction because you have this side wind, which is so present, almost omnipresent. Like it's inescapable, regardless of what direction you're going. It really fronted that.
Yeah, that's right. What did I once did a project interviewing some people out here, and I spoke to a guy who at the time was a traditional eel catcher. He used to make willow traps.
Oh yeah.
And he was part of a long line, like hundreds of years of his family. His name was Peter Carter, and he told me the wind out here is a lazy wind because it doesn't bother to go around you; it goes straight through you. So it's lazy. It's just like a classic like Fen saying, but like that thing you say, I felt it kind of slightly diagonal, so at times I'd just like orient to the road and then to just this wind coming at me, or to my front or to my back. Which I loved.
I mean, I think that the beautiful thing with dance for me is that it does, like, it doesn't really have a language, and it struggles to sort of like find a sort of representation in the world and relevance sometimes as well. But like you say, these colloquial sayings and things, like the conditions of the place, of the environment, they're so bodily. Like it goes through you. It's lazy. It's like a dancing partner, you know. Like it's.
And for me as well, like those conditions include my history and knowledge of like people. And I don't know how you found it, and I think I'm like it in general. But like when it comes to taking up space, and when it comes to being expressive, like I was really impressed that the first, I don't know, maybe 5-10 minutes of your dance, you were within 10 meters of this learner driver who just parked up. And they were maybe watching, I don't know, chatting through. Certainly it would have been out of the ordinary for them. And what it means to be antisocial, or to be unpredictable, or to be seen as, I don't know, like, flamboyant or extravagant or expressive in a way that certainly around here isn't necessarily welcomed. Because I would say, at least from my experience growing up and like historically, it's quite a sort of conformist, do you know what I mean? Like, don't step out of the ordinary. It will be commented on if you do. And I just wondered for you how that was starting. I did have some level of like, can someone see me? Is someone watching? Will they call the police? What do they think I'm doing? Do you know what I mean? Like, but that speaks more broadly to me about public space and dance as this kind of, you know, what it means to take up space in that way. And sometimes I'm uncomfortable with it. Like if it's not a licensed venue, does it fit? How did that feel for you?
Well, exactly as you described it, as like taking up space. It's quite powerful as a meeting, actually, when I meet my like. Because it's in me also, right? Like their eyes on me, my perception of their eyes on me, what they perceive me to be doing, and what I'm allowed to do, what I think I'm allowed to do.
Exactly.
It's kind of it's a very like, it's a strong sense of being allowed or not allowed to be present. And we took up so much space, and like you say, there's no dance studio as long as this road.
No.
But what came of it? You know, like the beauty of seeing your duet partner get closer, or the person you're conversing with physically get start so small, and also to have such range. I mean, we could have veered off the droge, right?
The drove.
Yeah. and gone elsewhere.
Yeah.
So like taking up space, it feels like a right.
Yeah, right.
And yet that freedom feels really elusive. And we were speaking a bit about how the Fens are, they're a very wild space, but they're very created, maybe, or maintained space.
Oh yeah. It's entirely human made now. And sculpted and farmed and kind of ransacked.
Yeah. I mean, like the sense of permission to do dancing. I mean, I've also been looking, how can I walk these places, and it's terrifying. I mean, most of the time I'm just like, oh, I don't want to bother someone. I don't want to walk on someone's land. And stuff. But how do you engage with those questions in general?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, it's reminded me of a couple of things. One is with my oldest friend from around here. We used to go on these long walks, just sometimes in a straight line. Yeah, you know, along the 40-foot drain, you can walk, and some of it is private land. We managed to do it. It was when we were younger, cared less. Yeah. But we managed to, walk in a straight line for 22 miles. Yeah. Between Erith and Downham Market, and that's something. It is that Marina and Ulay thing. If we did opposite ends of that, it would take us, a day to meet. Yeah. And would you be able to dance for 11 miles? But no, I think, what it means to be expressive in that way, and I'm really good when I've got the license, and then I'll just if I'm like, if someone's like, here's a stage, here's a microphone, whatever, here's a license to do your thing, I'll take up that space. If not, I get very nervous. And making sound and all of that kind of stuff, because it might be seen. And I just come back from New York. I was in New York, this is why it's on my mind, a couple of weeks ago, doing some research, and there's a possible project out there that may or may not happen, but I had the joy of just meeting incredible people out there and watching some rehearsals of things, and the first thing I did after being on a plane for 8 hours and then an hour and a half through immigration and then catch the Uber was land at Pier 76 on the Hudson River. I'd been invited there, and there was this thing called Dance's Life, this party on a Monday afternoon between, 5 o'clock and 10 o'clock at night. It's properly diverse, properly queer. People just so expressive. Wow. And then you could see some of that too, just around the city. Do you know what I mean? Like people roller skating in Central Park, just and in fact then we were chatting to someone about nights out there and stuff, and they said every night out is like, on some level, is a queer night out. It's no longer just its own thing. It just permeates culture for the young people. Do you know what I mean, out there? And I think especially in New York in general, I just found people so at ease with expressing themselves. And of course that's a cliche too in terms of but it's such a comparison to England. And especially around here, Tory hotspot as well. Do you know what I mean? Or probably reform now, where it is very ordered. Even the land is ordered. It's all straight lines. It's all, do you know what I mean? And so, and as you say, we could have just cut zigzags across all of it. I would be nervous. I still have the fear of a farmer's shotgun.
Yeah, of course.
From when I was a child. But I think I've really, in New York, I was like, damn, this is enticing. Yeah. Because there is this invitation to just do what the hell you want, wear what the hell you want, and no one's going to blink an eyelid. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
No, there is a hope with this sort of I mean, it's terrifying and freeing at the same time. We're experiencing where anyone can have a voice, right? Social media and has sort of, and the internet has sort of created this space where we all feel in some part that we should participate. We have to comment on things, we have to like things, and that sort of culture, I think, is becoming more and more prevalent or permitted in so much of our lives, and especially the young who are like growing up in this, right?
And this felt odd because we weren't filming it.
Exactly.
It's really for its own sake.
Yeah.
I was like, shit, but this is gold. Where's the? How can I put this on the gram? And you know what I mean? Or like, how can I harvest some of this material? Like, yeah. And so to do it for its own sake, I think it's a good practice.
Yeah. I mean, and in a way, it's not as well, right? We're still capturing a part of it, but
Sure.
I was really thinking actually,
True.
because you chose such a visually spectacular. It's not going to get across on audio, but it is just amazing. And like and also the detail, like I was at some point on the ground and you see the Lycian, like you see the conversation between nature and this road that has been built, and of course you want to capture it somehow and put it out there, but it's a weird conversation when we know Instagram is sort of like this monopoly of like creator space as well. Sort of almost authoritarian control space where everything has to function in the best way possible.
That's right, yeah.
But what I love is you sort of opening up this question of like giving permission, and that really resonates with the kind of community dancing, and when I'm working with people who haven't danced so much, like exactly how do I give them permission to do these things? We know as professional dancers and people who've worked in the field for so long that the border between dancing and not dancing is so thin. Like people can really do it. Like that sort of old expression of like, oh, I can't dance is really speaking to something that is very sad, actually.
Definitely.
It sounds really amazing the ways in which you're finding to sort of give permission or give license, as you say, as well.
I think what I tend to do is I feel like I'm really sensitive. I'm sensitive to where people might be at, and of course I explicitly state early, like, meet this wherever you're at, and then I'll try and set the ask in terms of commitment really high, right off the bat, and then as soon as one person or a number of people like meet that, I'll reinforce it and I'll praise it, and that generally works for me. And then everyone will say, oh damn, right, they're going for I'm allowed. Where it falls down, which almost happened to me the other time, not so long ago. And it's been a long time since I was in that situation. I was teaching a group of teenagers, some of whom haven't danced much at all. Some of them like teenage boys, and they were just part of this group, amazing group, in Stoke, as part of this project I was doing with Stoke, who are an amazing organisation, and they're trying to up their work with teenagers. And in the first morning, I was doing what I thought was relatively low bar engagement, kind of just to get them humming as a group, and they were not having it. And so my usual tactic of like ask and then support when it's met just couldn't happen because it wasn't being met. And then I was like, shit, what other tactics do I have? Like how can I like get them in their power? And I'm used to doing it quick, and this feels like it's going to be harder. I think actually then, because we were making like a music video, dance video, after a bit of a struggly first session, I played them the music that was made by this guy Paul Rogerson, who works at Reset. It was really cool music. I showed them some of the visual references, which included like this Rosalia and Travis Scott music video where they were like, oh, actually this is pretty cool. I showed them some of the stuff I'd shot before, and then suddenly they were on board. And it was just really interesting to me in that moment of like, I've always had the mantra in my head, like the material, especially in that kind of situation, is the thing. Like you can be as enthusiastic and as kind of motivating as you like, but if people aren't really into the material, you've got an uphill battle. But one thing I noticed there as well is like there can be other ways of like, I guess we're talking about like trust and credibility, and you can signal, I'm giving you permission, but if they don't trust you for whatever reason, even if you think, well, you should, it's not going to fly. And so even just showing the Travis Scott Rosalia music video or playing that music, suddenly I had a lot more cachet, And then when I was asking them to, we still had a journey to go on,
Yeah.
but at least we were on the path. Whereas when it first started, it was like, oh no, we can't even see the path here.
Yeah.
So it's all trust, isn't it? And one of the things in New York, actually, I was doing some work with this amazing, the Public Theatre in New York, like amazing, and they have this program called Public Works where they work with hundreds of members of the community, and they've been doing it 10 years. Some of them have been in, they call them pageants, but they're big shows, and some of them have been in like 4 or 5 pageants over the years. Wow. Their whole family. Yeah. Some of them might have started as a 4-year-old and now they're a teenager and they're still doing it. You know, incredible long form community engagement. But yeah, on the wall there, Dahlia Ramsey Lopez, who I was working out there with, she'd put up always act in the interests of trust building. Yeah, I think. And she said I think those were the words. And she said she'd been round the houses on what it could be, like always assume best intentions, blah, 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 blah. But that was the one she'd landed on. And I should say as well, like so much of this approach is really, really grounded in director Emily Lim. You know, she's run public acts at the National. She's like opened up so much of my work and her is so values led. And I'm sure, like, for her, like, yeah, always act in the interest of trust building. I think, yeah, is like that's the thing. that's what it is. And we've come out here, and because we know each other, the trust is implicit. But still, it's only that allows for you to step outside the ordinary.
Exactly. I was just gonna say, like, in a meta way, like, I feel so privileged that you trusted me to do this, and I think it was clear, like, I sent you a message on Instagram after we sort of reconnected there, and then immediately you were like, yeah, let's see. And I think, and throughout it as well, like, trusting to stay a little bit longer with a movement, trusting to stay or to go back to back, even though I felt your choreographic hands sort of like, oh yeah, you're right. Or let's trust in what else could be there, and then trusting in, oh, can we find contact, and what kind of contact would that be? And throughout, like, there's these plays around permitting and providing, which sort of I had to think a lot about how for a while I was thinking that dance doesn't always have to be performed, and like that dance can exist outside of that economy almost. And I still agree with it, but I think there's something still which is similar to performance, maybe definitely not just for the stage, but a performance where it's like being present, taking space, and trusting one another and permitting one another to be able to for that dance to exist, and even to trust yourself as well.
Definitely
to dance,
definitely. There was a moment relatively soon after I'd stopped performing on stage where I still enjoyed dancing, obviously, and would dance like to music in my living room and so on. And I realized, like, oh, I can close my eyes. Because for years it was like, never close your eyes. Do you know what I mean? Like, that was just my thing, and like always let the audience in. What are your eyes doing? And that performative outward facing. And then I was like, shit, I can just close my eyes, just have a great time, just vibe out. And it felt like, I don't know, it felt like a whole different relationship to moving.
It's I mean, that word is really big, but everything about your proposal today screams freedom in some way or another. Just being in such a large, expansive space, and then trying to find a little bit of freedom in there and be there. It's really beautiful.
Good. It's nice.
I think we could probably start to wrap it up there, unless you have anything else that's pertinent from this experience. Otherwise, you could let us know maybe how to get in touch with the rest of your work. And
if you're curious, Instagram's the place I put everything. But I'll, when I say everything, it's not my whole life, but everything I'm up to. And Instagram is Dan_Canham. There's some pictures and films and stuff up there. I'm co-directing the closing event for Bradford City of Culture, which will be winter solstice.
Nice.
Yeah, so that'll be 20th and 21st of December in Bradford, in a park. And we've really drawn on kind of ways of gathering and of congregating at that time, and fire and dance and music.
Real fire.
Yeah, yeah.
That sounds amazing.
So that'll be, maybe like 180 performers, hopefully, from the Bradford region, and big audience. Maybe we're hoping for like 5,000.
Yeah.
Under the sky, whatever the weather.
Yeah.
And so that's a big one coming up. And then lots of nice kind of film-based projects that find their life and their place online or in festivals over the time, and there's quite a few of those I've put up on the Instagram. So yeah,
great.
Yeah,
that's great. And I mean, and you seem to be everywhere. You're in New York.
Lots
you're
of traveling.
all over.
Yeah,
the
lots
UK.
of traveling in the minute. Yeah. I think that seems to just be the nature of it. I think with how things are.
Yeah.
Being able to go wherever those little pockets of exciting work is essential. I'd like to work in Bristol more. I'd like to not be away from home as much. But what I do is what I'm into is relatively specific.
Yeah.
This is broad, but so
Yeah.
you've got to go wherever that is.
I mean, and it sounds so awesome. I hope I can come to the north and see you. I need to come to the north. It's
nice.
a place to be.
Yeah.
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 Thank you, Dan. We'll
My
keep
pleasure.
talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.